noise, cut the noise, cut the noise, and welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Key, episode 5. How y'all feeling? How does it feel to be at episode 5 with me, y'all? I'm just so excited about episode 5, and as you can hear, my throwback Destiny Child, I was inspired by Beyonce's moving performance at Beychella, because we know it ain't Coachella, because clearly she stole the show, but but that's not why we're here. I just wanted to let y'all know that I witnessed some greatness via the internet, because I can't afford to go to Coachella, but I thought I'd bring back this staple song about being a survivor, because clearly that's what I am. I'm a lupus fighter, and that brings me to the reason why we're here. It is Lupus Awareness Month. It is May, and so I want to share my lupus story with y'all. Is that all right? Is that all right? I just want to share a little bit. I ain't gonna be too long. But I really want to share a little bit with you guys. And for anybody out there that's battling with the disease, this episode is for you. And for anybody that wants to learn about the disease, this episode is for you. And anybody who is confused about the disease or doesn't understand it or has somebody in their life that they love that has the disease, this episode is for, everybody say it, you. So I'm excited to share with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Let's start off with what in the world is lupus? Because that was the question I had when I was diagnosed. It's an autoimmune disease, which means that your body, your immune system is attacking the healthy cells. It's not just attacking the cells that are not supposed to be there. It's attacking the cells that are healthy. And so it causes issues in that way. Who can get lupus? Who has lupus? Who are the people that normally get lupus? Well, anyone can have lupus, and the cause is not really known. I've been told that, it could be caused by a reaction to a medication, or it could be hereditary. But in my case, neither one of those things were true, so we really don't know how it's caused or anything like that. But when I say anyone can have it, anybody can. And it's more common in women. Go figure. And this is going to get you. It's 2 to 3 times more likely in African American women. So, that really didn't surprise me. When I first heard it, it took me a second to let it sit. But then when I thought about it, it really didn't surprise me, because there are so many things about the disease that just make me see how it's, the treatment and all these different things, how you're affected by it. It just kind of opened my eyes so much. What are the symptoms? Well, goodness gracious, the symptoms are endless, but I'll tell you about a few that are well known. There's joint pain. There are rashes, they call them the butterfly rashes. There's chest pain. There's hair loss. There's sun sensitivity, which causes you to need to wear sunscreen, or it will cause a flare-up, which I'll explain what that is in just a moment. Swollen glands, and this one really is the one that gets me the most. It's extreme fatigue, and it's that type of tired that doesn't go away with rest, and that is a really, really hard thing. But I told you guys I would tell you a little bit about a flare, but before I do that, also know that lupus can affect any of your major organs. And so that just makes it difficult to process, to figure out, to treat. The treatment for lupus it varies so much, because the disease manifests so differently in all different people. And so it's just like there are different drugs and different medications out there, and they really don't know exactly how all of them affect you in the long run. Like, they have an idea, but a lot of it, being doctors and doing their best with the disease, is a practice. So you really never know how it can affect you. So it's really, really difficult. But I want to tell you a little bit about my lupus story. I found out about my disease when I was 17 years old, 2 weeks away from my 18th birthday. Like I told you guys in previous episodes, you all know I'm from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'm 24 years old. I'm a Howard University graduate in elementary education, so I teach the babies. And I've been in this area for about 6 years in Washington, D.C., teaching and going to school and things like that. And so now I want to backtrack and give you the story that got me to this point. 17 years old, 2 weeks away from our 18th birthday. I'm having severe joint pain. At that time, I was a drum major, which is like, you know, if you don't know anything about black bands, look up your local HBCU, see what drum majors do. I'm backbending, I'm giving 90s, I'm out there directing, I'm doing all of that, right? But then I start to feel terrible. And I feel like I'm so much older than I actually am. I started having trouble putting on my clothes and taking them off, getting in the tub. Every little thing you can think of, my joints were really affecting me. And I really was like, oh, maybe I have like arthritis or I have something. I just thought it was something that they could give me a shot for and it'd be over. I was gonna bite my lip, get my little shot and go on by my way. Maybe I need to go back every couple weeks and get a shot. I didn't know. And me being 17 and being a kid still, I really just truly did not know what had happened. I went to a clinic not too far from my house, and the doctor tells me that I may have lupus. In that moment, I went completely numb. I didn't say a whole lot, and my mom like immediately started looking up information about lupus because I was oblivious. Only thing I knew about it was that Mercedes from America's Next Top Model had it, and she was my favorite contestant at the time. So I was like, oh my gosh. And she didn't seem like she was doing that well with it on television. Like she was doing the best she could in that situation, but it was difficult. So fast forward to me getting ready to leave the clinic. I was fine. I was numb acting. I was just kind of like floating like a zombie. Got to the walkway outside of the clinic, got almost to the doorway and collapsed into tears. I mean, I'm just crying and crying because it's so hard. It's so hard for me to know that I have tried to be healthy and tried to live right, tried to do all these things. And I mean, all these organizations have these plans. At that time, I was already committed and accepted and had a scholarship to Howard University. And there were people after I found out I had the disease that did not believe I would actually leave. Like, how is she gonna go to Howard and with lupus? How is she gonna do that? And I'm just like, there was a lot of support, but there was also a lot of negativity in that process. How is she gonna move away? Because we're talking about thousands of them. You're talking about hours and hours away from my family. I was 18 going to college. So it was just like something I'd never done before. And it was so new to me, everything. But by the grace of God, I was able to go to Howard and I was able to graduate and I was able to get a job and I was able to stay here. But along that journey, there were hospital visits where I found out new symptoms that I had. Went from being joint pain and fatigue to hair loss. Lost my eyebrows completely for a year. Nobody really knew because I was drawing them like a Perot. But it was hard because they were my shining glory at the time. I really loved them, and then they were gone. And then the straw, I guess, that broke the camel's back with me and lupus was when I started having chest pain, and I was told I had pleuritis, which is inflammation in my lungs. And so it was really hard for me. But the thing about lupus that is most difficult is that it's so unpredictable, and you really never know where you are in the disease. But the thing is that keeps me hopeful and keeps me happy is knowing that there are people that still want to learn about the disease. And though we have not found a cure, I believe that in my lifetime it's possible. And that with your help, like getting the word out, trying to learn more, supporting the people in your lives that have it, we can find the cure. And all I ask in this process is if you know somebody with lupus, hug them a little bit tighter, support them, go over to their house even if they don't call you, because it's a really hard disease and much of it I handle in private. And I'm trying to get better at sharing my journey with people because I know that when I share my story, I give people the power to share their stories as well. And so with this episode of Kicking It with Key, it's a little bit more somber, like I said, but these are real issues that are affecting real people like me. And I love, love, love all of you for taking the time to watch my story, to understand my story, and inevitably understand me a little bit better. And so if you know a loopy in your life, love on them real hard. The cure is still possible, and I love you and I appreciate you. And remember to cut out the noise in your life and be who you need to be in order to be successful. Love you guys.